Dwight?
I'm in Texas, baby. Where it go down at?
Dwight Gentry, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
All right.
One of the more powerful testimonies of anybody I've been around in a long time. God was and Isaiah and Trey, I want you guys to really pay attention to this because you can relate to this. But he was a lot lesser known high school player than both of you guys were.
Definitely.
A lot lesser known high school. He was a high school player at Terrell High School. He walked on at UTA. And I actually met him when the year he was coming in, I was going out at the UTA and was still doing the open runs and had guys coming in and training. And you guys can remember that when we were doing those open runs, Sweatbox. But I remember this scrawny little kid coming up and was like, man, I'm trying to get on. I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this team. You know, please tell coach that I can play, you know, the whole nine. And I was like, okay, but we'll see. And he got out there and he competed in the open runs. But long story short, he went from a walk-on at UTA to earning a scholarship at UTA and a starting position at the guard spot. And then he went on from there to a professional playing career, playing overseas, South America, a lot of different places. And so, Guy is a true testimony of trusting the process, the grit, determination, you know, being told no and still overcoming adversity. So I'm going to let Coach Dwight Gentry talk a little bit about his story, his journey as a walk-on. And go ahead, Coach.
All right, so basically, one thing that Latrey said was that piggyback off of. He said he bets on himself. Like that's some of the best advice. So basically, I always just bet on myself. So basically, coming from Terrell High School, definitely wasn't a big recruit or any names like these two guys right here. Definitely was not. I did, you know, I was always robbing on my team. I was never the best player. I was never the guy on any level I've been on. But you just got to find your niche. So at Terrell High School, I averaged about like 16 points my senior year. And so basically the story of my life is you never know who is watching. So I wasn't getting no looks. I was not getting any, you know, no letters or anything like that, you know, and I was real small. And but, you know, I could shoot. And I was always like the second, third best player on the team or whatever. And we was a pretty nice program, but didn't have no looks, you know, all the stuff that y'all talk about, unsigned seniors. I was in the same boat. And so basically, like I said, you never know who's watching. Playoff game, we make it to the playoffs, and we playing against the number 6 team in the state. It was Hillcrest. They had 2 Division I signees, but one of the coaches, so JUCO, a junior college, Collin County was coming to watch one of their players. And I just happened to have the game of my life. I had 30. They like, who's this guy? They end up offering me a scholarship then. Same thing happened with junior college. So I know the junior college grind. Those guys, like he said, those guys are dogs. It's a whole nother, 2 years, maybe D1 transferred, more developed. And, you know, I had to learn the hard way, get in there. And UTA is coming to a game to watch a JUCO All-American. And just so happened, one of our best guys was out with an ankle injury. And they said, yo, Gent, you got to guard this dude. And I remember he had headband on, he had these braids, leg sleeves. He averaged about 25 a game. I was like, they said, you got to guard him. So I'm like, man, he was an All-American, JUCO All-American. UTA was coming to the game to watch this dude. Shake Daniels, Coach D, shout out Shake D, Stop 6, Fort Worth. Coach D was there. And Coach Reggie Brown was there. And I had the game of my life. The dude, he was playing real cool. And I just happened to, you know, I was taking charges. I happened to hit like 7 threes or whatever. They give the card to my dad after the game and get a card to my JUCO coach, and said, come up and try out for the team. Come out and walk on. I mean, like, come try out. So I'm thinking tryouts, and this can help a lot of young kids out there that think going to a tryout at the D1 is you're going to be sitting there doing cone drills and doing all this stuff. They throwing you right in the fire against guys on the team. So I'm going against all these cold guards that I knew that was in high school. That was McDonald's All-American nominees, Boston College transfers, you know, all this. And so I'm in here thinking I'm about to be in here doing some defensive slide drills, and I got to straight up guard him. Jabari was still in there with some Minnesota Timberwolves shorts on, giving work. And that's why he laughing, because, you know, he was still in there any day that. Coach Thomas was still in there giving buckets, you know. So you basically going against former pros and then guys on the team. So, you know, I just somebody before the tryout, before the walk on the open gym, one of the girls was practicing, and she had a T-shirt on the back. It said UT Arlington basketball. On the back it said defense equals PT. And so I don't know if that was just a sign or something for me to see that day, because I was a shooter. I used to shoot threes. So I said, and I know it was some guys that was in there, like Marquez. It was dude named Roger Guignard from Mesquite Horn. He was one of the best players, threes. All these guys could shoot. Cardell Hunter was there from Carter, and all these cold guard, Rod Epps. And I was like, and the guys was way taller, way bigger. And I was like, I'm not even probably about to get the ball too much, but I seen the shirt that said defense equals PT. I'm about to play some defense out here. So I was just guarding real hard, diving on the floor. I left with some strawberries all on my hips and everything. But that was the one thing that stood out to the coaches was the defense. I wasn't, they got people that could shoot. So I was hitting the three. I hit my open shot, but I was playing defense. And after that, the word got to the coach, and he was just like, you know, hey, come back for the next open gym. They just kept inviting me back. And then, you know, eventually got the word that they would let me walk on. So I thought, hey, once they said I'm on, I'm happy playing D1, you know. And if I can go back, one of the reasons why I decided to do D1 was because when I was a junior in high school, a coach, you know, this is one of the things that really fueled me. And, you know, people ask me, like, why did you do all this? Why did you could have went D2, you could have did the NAI thing. Like, why didn't you? So basically, when I was a junior, you know, like I said, I was like the second and third best player on the team. I do everything right. My grades is good. You know, I'm like, so it was a game out called college basketball that you can play on PlayStation and stuff. And one of the it's a PlayStation, you know. So I look young, but I'm 34 years old. So this is about college basketball, and you know, we used to create our own player. So one of my boys was like, "Yeah, my dude play for Duke. He gonna be number 21. He gonna have this, and he gonna have that. He gonna be 6'9". And so when I was going, one of the assistant coaches was walking in, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to UConn. I'm gonna be number 3. I'm gonna have a braids like Iverson. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a sleeve on." He was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Wait a minute, Dwight. Yeah. He hey, look, hold on, stop the press. You a good kid and everything, but no, you ain't going no D1." And so they looking like he ain't going D1. Like, what are we gonna do? And I was just like, yo, you know, I was never a disrespectful kid, so I didn't just say, you know, I ain't go off on him. But I'm like, he said, man, you're a good kid and everything, Dwight. I love you, but you ain't going D1. You might go JUCO. You might do this, and I was like, I'm gonna prove you wrong, bro. I'm gonna prove you wrong. So, you know, long story short, I ended up getting on at UTA. You know, we played Michigan State. I had a nice little game against them. Hit some threes. He coming to me and say, "Hey, I knew you was gonna be the man. I seen you on TV." So I'm like, man, you can't let somebody, these young kids, like I say, bet on yourself. Like my boy Trey said, don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. That's the only thing that has been pushing me. I don't have no special talent, but like I listen. So
listen, Dwight, for those that don't know, break down exactly what a walk-on is at the college Division I level.
Okay, so a walk-on is basically there's 15 guys on the team. There's 13 of those are on scholarship. So that's basically everything is paid for. So that means you get your books paid for. They give you an apartment. They give you a check every month. And you know, at the time for UTA, it was about $500 something. You get, you know, like you get all your class. You don't have nothing to worry about. You just got to go to class, student athlete. So as far as a walk-on is you're a student, but you got to pay for all that stuff. So you got to pay for the books. You know, you got to pay for that apartment. You got to find, you know, you got to pay for those classes, and a lot of people a lot of guys take that for granted. Like, since they not paying for it, they will skip class. They just throw that book on the ground like that. But like, you know, I went in there one time and they told me the book cost $366. And yeah, I'm treating that book like the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But nah, it's a whole different experience. Like, they taking care of their stuff. You gotta basically pay for your own stuff. And then for some reason, it's basically like, you know, there's some guys that's on scholarship that don't play. You under them.
Yeah.
Yo, I was like the last dude on the bench. Like, hey, it's guys that don't play that don't get in and be mad. And I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to get in. And then, you know, it seemed like in practice, somebody might be hurt. Hey, Gent, you got to go twice. Like, it seemed like I was going double. I had to do more just to get their attention, just for them to even know. At first, they didn't even know. Hey, that group, they were calling out the guard group. Oh yeah, hey, and so, hey, yeah, the walk on. You go with them. That's who they wanted at first. I was the walk on. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I ran with that name. But yeah, people don't realize, man. You know, a lot of these walk on stories are not successful. Like, there's a lot of guys that, you know, don't understand what it takes to do that. They just see the YouTube series I got, or they see the shirts, and just think, oh yeah, I just want to walk on at Texas Tech. And I'm like, bro, I hope you know you really need to go in there willing to work. Like, you gotta love it to really be, you know, for walk on, practice is your game.
Absolutely. There you go.
You shout that as loud as you can, and you know, write it down at some point.
There was a young man at Oklahoma State. I just heard his story, and I was reminded of Dwight. But Coach Mike Boyne awarded him a scholarship. He was a walk-on who had been working at Walmart to pay tuition to be on the team and play, and so they had this big surprise, you know, presentation where they awarded him a scholarship. So it's stuff like that that's really, really cool. I always say walk-ons have to do twice as much of the work and play half as much of the time.
Right.
You know, so
I actually reached out to that guy. I reached out to him, and like, a lot of people tagged me in that story. But like, you know, with mine, because I can relate strict. Like, my summer before I got the scholarship, I was working at the pool in Terrell. I was working at the mall, at the Parks Mall, and to pay for my tuition like that. And then Coach Cross was asking me. He was like, "Hey, yo, when you coming back to school? Like, what day you come back to school?" And I was like, "I'll be back August 18th." And so he kept asking me, and then like, "When you moving in?" And then they like, he lined up like, yeah, we're gonna have wings and, you know, rotel and pizza at my house. And so they made sure, like, I guess the guys knew already, but I didn't know because I couldn't afford to stay there for the summer and work out. I had moved back to Terrell, and I was working all summer, man, and just trying to earn some money and stuff like that. And then when I went back, like, Coach Cross like surprised me, and he wanted me to be able to experience having a signing day like a lot of kids get. So he had the table lined up, and you know the UTA, and I signed, got a hat, and that's really when I really realized, like, hard work pay off. Like, I was working, but you know, there's been moments, little small moments in your life that you say, oh yeah, I've been working on my legs, yeah, now I can dunk. But no, that was one where I was writing it down thousands of times. I was like praying on it, and for him to really give me that scholarship, like, that really changed my life. That really gave me new life. I know it was a lot of people that needed to see me make it like that. There was a lot of people that need to see that, like, it's kids in Terrell. That's one reason why I tell them the story and I do the things I do in Terrell, because all I do is what I wanted somebody to do for me. So, you know, just somebody from college in this area to come back and talk to me, and I seen them make it. So, shout out to Coach Cross for real. He definitely gave me new life.